my name is Jael. Thanks for stopping by my YouTube channel. This is the third video in my Music Business 101 series. If you haven't watched the first video, you might be a little lost on some of the concepts that we go over, so I'll leave a link for that video in the YouTube description and I'll pop it above my head somewhere. Just like in the past videos, I'll do my best to have timestamps and any reference links in the YouTube description. In the last video, we focused on music business for vocalists, lyricists, and songwriters. In this video, we'll go more in depth on music business for instrumentalists, producers, and composers. Here are the key words and phrases for this video. Master recording, or just the master. The final sound recording from which all other copies are made is commonly referred to as the master. Performers. These are the people that perform the lyrical or instrumental composition of a song. This includes, but is not limited to, singers, rappers, instrumentalists, and beat makers. Royalties. This is the money earned from selling, performing, and/or licensing the sound recording of a song. Publishing royalties, or just publishing. This is the money earned from selling, performing, and/or licensing the composition of a song. Intellectual property. A work or an invention as a result of creativity to which one has rights and for which one may apply for a patent, copyright, or trademark. Placement. Now, this is my definition, so it might vary from person to person. A commercial release of a lyrical or instrumental composition with an artist. So for example, if a producer's beat were to become a song on Drake's album, that producer would have a placement with Drake. Before we jump into the rest of the video, here are two more things to keep in mind. Record labels represent sound recordings, and publishing companies represent compositions. The traditional role of a producer is to oversee the production of a project, as well as to help arrange. These type of producers include Quincy Jones and Diddy. People that only make beats without helping out with the arrangement and the overall production of the song are referred to as beat makers. In this video, I'll be referring to beat makers and producers that make beats as well. Let's say, for example, that I'm a pianist that performs and composes my own music. Let's take a look at what would happen if I signed a record deal. Record labels give cash advances and access to their resources in exchange for the exclusive rights to your sound recordings. Now, if you can play multiple instruments, keep in mind that you do need to clarify which instruments are covered in the contract. If the record label signed you as a pianist, they're expecting you to compose a piano album, not a guitar album. And on the flip side, if you're signed to your label as a pianist, but you do a feature on somebody else's album as a guitarist, you do need to make sure that your record label doesn't try to take money for that guitar feature if it's not agreed upon in your contract. Now, remember that cash advance that the label gave out in the beginning? Well, that was just a loan, and that has to be repaid by the royalties that the music earns. So now you might be wondering, how exactly do I make money from the sound recordings? Well, not to worry, the record label does give the artist 10 to 15% of the royalties that the music earned, at least once the advance has been paid back. In other words, recouped. That's why it's so important for artists to own their masters, or at least to understand the contracts that they're signing. And that goes especially for instrumentalists, considering that instrumental albums don't sell for quite as much as pop or rap albums. And if you're a session musician, unless you composed the part of the song that you performed, don't expect to be collecting royalties. But record labels aren't that bad. The cash advance can be used to support yourself, that way you don't have to work a job while trying to record an album. Not to mention, the labels have access to radios, marketers, photographers, any resources that you need in order to properly market your brand and your music. Overall, as long as you have a good lawyer and you know what you want out of the agreement, you'll be just fine whether or not you sign to a record label. Now let's take a step back and imagine what would happen if I was a producer that made beats. When a producer sells the exclusive rights or licenses the rights to a beat, they are selling or licensing the sound recording to that beat. As a producer and beat maker, this is a very important concept to grasp. Once you sell the exclusive rights to a beat, you do not have any say-so over that beat anymore. When a producer licenses the right to a beat, they can continue to license that beat and collect royalties from that beat indefinitely. Whereas when a producer sells the exclusive rights to a beat, they can no longer collect royalties from the sound recording of that beat. In addition, the person that bought the beat now has the rights and the say-so to do whatever they want with the beat. That even includes reselling the exclusive rights to said beat. But that doesn't mean the original producer can no longer make money from the beat entirely. Remember, there are two parts to every song, and in this case, the beat. The part of the beat that is sold and licensed is called the sound recording, also known as the master. The part that the producer should never give up is called the composition, which brings us to our next topic, publishing deals. Publishing companies, similar to record labels, give cash advances and access to their resources in exchange for the rights to your compositions. Now keep in mind, there are different types of publishing deals. Some publishing companies want to own a percentage of your composition, whereas other publishing companies don't want to own your composition at all. They simply want the right to collect. This means that they'll help you collect your money from different organizations all over the world for a small fee. Those types of deals are typically referred to as admin publishing deals, since the publishing company is only taking care of the administrative work. Now, just like a record label, the cash advance that was given is a loan that has to be repaid by the publishing royalties that the composition earns. With that being said, I may not be a lawyer, and don't take this as legal advice. Please seek legal counsel for any legal matters that you may have, but never give up more than 50% of your intellectual property. The beats that you make and the music that you compose are intellectual property, and according to US copyright law, you can continue to earn money from them for a lifetime plus 70 years. This means that even if you sign to a record label or if you sell the exclusive rights to one of your beats, you can still earn money from that composition. That is, as long as you remain the owner of the copyright. Remember, whoever owns the majority of the copyright has the authority to decide what can and can't be done with the composition. Now, don't worry too much. As long as you have a good lawyer and you know what you want from your deal, you'll be just fine. A good publishing deal will help you get into the studio with your favorite artists, different songwriters and producers, and they'll help you secure placements. That way you both make money. That about covers everything for this video. If you liked the video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, share this video with a songwriter or producer that you may know, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss any new videos just like this. Until next time, bye.